So the stench, I'm sorry to give you bad news, the people of Kampala, the stench you are used to, I'm worried it may worsen because the budget has not improved. The same with the floods. We may have to grapple with the issue of floods for some time. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. It's regrettable. I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but it would appear the floods are still with us for some good time, given the lean budget we have. Of the year, we always have the state of the state address. Unfortunately, this year, we are not able to deliver it. Yet, rather notwithstanding the fact that it's a statutory command, because under Section 11 of the KCCA Act, I'm required to give the state of affairs in the city once every year, and normally it comes towards the end of the financial year to give highlights of our performance in the course of the financial year, and also throw light or give the trajectory of the year ahead, the financial year ahead. So it's always around this time. The reasons may be obvious to you because I've not been well. You know the challenges, the health challenges I've encountered the last couple of months, and I'm glad right now I'm steadily recovering, and pretty soon I'm sure I'll be on the road. Secondly, my deputy would be in charge, but unfortunately she's also been on maternity leave. So I was left with a very lean cabinet. My secretary for education and health, as well the Honorable Namazi, and secretary for finance, the Honorable John Mary Sebufu. So this year we are not going to have it. And we decided at least we address one issue, one key issue, and also give you a general overview of what our expectations are going to be in light of the new budget that has been given to us by Parliament. So you'll allow me in just a few minutes to give you the expectations we have, the general picture of how the year will roll out as against the budgetary allocations made by Parliament, and the trend we have always been having, then that trajectory, and finally zero in on the most critical sector, infrastructure transformation, specifically road construction in the city. And without any further ado, allow me first of all to give you the trend as it has been. Our expectation for these 5 years, the budgetary allocation was 2.1 trillion every financial year. This, I've always showed you this strategic plan for the 5 years. We are in the 4th year of this strategic plan, and not even a single financial year we have received that target of 2.1 trillion to be able to transform Kampala to the required standard, that is to make it a functional city. So you can see the strategic plan 2021 to 2024, 2025. And the commitment we made in this strategic plan was to make Kampala a livable, attractive, functional, inclusive, and innovative city. So that was the strategic direction. Let me read it verbatim. The strategic goal. Here, where you see the beautiful picture of the executive director, my dear sister Dorothy Chisaka. In the executive summary here, this is the commitment we made. The strategic goal is that by June 2025, Kampala will be an inclusive, livable, resilient, and well-planned city that provides economic opportunities, and the 4 thematic areas have been identified and prioritized along with the 21 strategic objectives and the 33 sub-programs to guide the state development agenda over the next 5 years. By June 2025, Kampala will be an inclusive, livable, resilient, and well-planned city that provides economic opportunities. It's the goal we set. And to achieve this target, of course, we had to come up with the budgetary expectations. And it was agreed across board between the leadership at KCCA and the central government led by the Prime Minister that every financial year there would be a document that is going to be given to you. 2021-2022, we got 622 billion against the expected target of 2.1 trillion. 2022-2023, we got 470 billion. 2023-2024, the current financial year, 456 billion. Now, our expectation for 2024-2025 was 800. No, the budget they had promised. So finally, the budget that was passed on Thursday, there is some slight boost. It's now 1,134 billion. The current one is 456 billion. Now they have enhanced it slightly to 1,132 billion. For the very first time, we have hit a 1 trillion mark. Is it something to celebrate? Maybe yes, maybe not. Why yes? On the face of it, there is an improvement. And nobody should deny that fact that there is that slight improvement. Where does it come from? There's been an addition from the contribution of World Bank. And we must give credit to World Bank despite the ban, the moratorium they imposed on the country because of LGBT issues. At least for us, they agreed to continue financing our transformation agenda, at least infrastructure development. So in this financial year, why there is a boost, they have added 181 billion towards construction of roads. 181 billion. This is in addition to 549 billion, which is the contribution from the Africa Development Bank, KCCA, 549 billion, which we are going to spend in this financial year, the coming financial year. For the government of Uganda, this financial year, what they gave us for road construction was 46.9 billion. That is the government of Uganda funding for road construction. Now, they have slightly increased it. It's now 166 billion. up from 46.9 billion. Uganda Road Fund, which is meant for maintenance of roads, the financial year we are in right now, which is coming to an end, it has been 10 billion, and now they have also maintained it at 10 billion, which is unfortunate. So this is also the trend which you need also to capture. Government of Uganda funding towards road construction. 2021-2022, it was 316 billion. No. It was 101 billion, Government of Uganda funding. The first financial year of the development plan, 101 billion. 2023, 1999 billion. 2024, the current financial year, 75 billion. It has been dwindling. Now, it is 2024, 46.9 billion. Next financial year, that's what I've indicated, they have increased it to 166 billion. In other words, the boost we are getting is courtesy of the development partners. Africa Development Bank, 549 billion, and the World Bank, 181 billion, bringing our budget now to 1,134 billion as against the overall target of 2.1 trillion. That's where we stand. That is the state of affairs. How it's going to be utilized is now our challenge, and this is where we want to address you specifically on the issue of roads. The rest of the matters, they have remained the same. The situation is not going to change. For example, in the sector of environment and health, where you have the issue of solid waste management, the problem of garbage, it has remained constant, stagnant, 16 billion. It has not changed. So this essentially means the next financial year, we are not going to buy even a single garbage truck. We had the plans of installing recycling plants for garbage. Nothing. Wanted to operationalize Dundu, the new site, because Chitezi is full. Wanted now to make Chitezi, it's 136 acres, operational and functional, a state-of-the-art recycling plant was expected to be installed there using cutting-edge technology. Unfortunately, that is coming to a note because Parliament has not provided that money. It's not there. So the stench, I'm sorry to give you bad news, the people of Kampala, the stench you are used to, I'm worried it may worsen because the budget has not improved. The same with the floods. We expected government to provide the money for at least fixing the major drainage channels, because time and again I've told you, or we have explained to you, from the Kampala Drainage Master Plan, we are supposed to fix 9 drainage major channels. That is Nakivubo, Nalukorongo, Kinawataka, Nalubaga, Lubigi, Mayanja, and so on and so forth. So we are struggling to adjust the allocations of the GKMA project, at least to cater for Nalukorongo and Mayanja. But for government of Uganda budget, not even a single coin has been provided. So we may have to grapple with the issue of floods for some time. I'm sorry. It's unfortunate. It's regrettable. I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but it would appear the floods are still with us for some good time, given the lean budget we have. Now, coming specifically on the issue of the roads, like I told you, the enhancement we are told right now is specifically to clear the areas. And this is a matter we are going to deal with in all the meetings we are going to have as a state executive committee and the council. Because we are told, yes, there's been a boost for government of Uganda funding from 46.9 billion to 166. But it's because largely we are indebted to contractors. Yeah. Many of them are actually about to lay down their tools. You have already witnessed the delays we are having with the KCRRP. We demanded a comprehensive report of why there are inordinate delays, unconscionable delays which you cannot explain on all these roads. Some of the civil works in many of these roads, they have not started. Go to Chitez, for example. Look at Salama Road. Here, Sentema Road, they are just laying culverts. They have taken months. And many, many others. Chebando Ring Road, they have just started. Port Bero Road, they are talking about other things like adjustments and variations, and I'll explain that. So when we demanded for the explanation why there are those delays and why they are demanding that this money, please bring my phone. I'm really very sorry. But the document is being processed. You realize I'm working from home here, coordinating with the office, and what they are printing it and they are bringing it. But this is what they have explained. Why there are delays. Why the constructions are at a snail pace. Number one, failure by some of the contractors to adequately mobilize for the works. There are contractors that were given contracts, but they took months to start the mobilization, to establish their construction camps, mobilize equipment and do what? They are taking months. If you ask them, why have you not started, for example, to handle the civil works on Salama Road, for example, they will tell you the contractors are still mobilizing. You ask this mobilization, what does it take? So they are still on mobilization. So that is reason number one. Two, payment delays to the contractors. This has constrained the cash flows of some of the contractors. They are complaining about payment delays. And I have asked for payments to be due, there must be certificates of completion. So we want to know how many certificates have been signed and they have not been cleared. Look at all these roads. At least maybe all the Mubende Road, some serious progress made. If that one claims the payment, there is that patch where we are compensating some of the residents who yielded their land. We had some issues along that road. Some games had been played. You know, there is that company called the company called the Sinotrack there. The road was supposed to pass through their site, but now they had to make adjustment to go to the community, and the community had to be paid. So there is a patch which is not constructed up to now, and they have to be paid. So when the Ministry of Finance permitted us to utilize 15 billion towards compensation, we embarked on the process of compensating some of those land owners. At least that patch is good. But these other roads you cannot explain. There is no explanation given as to why Sapolokagwa Road, for example, is in the state in which it is right now? Where is it? How can the contractor who was given a contract over a year ago to commence construction of Sapolokagwa Road without even a single certificate now begin claiming payments, arrears, for what? For removing the remaining asphalt. So that's where we stand. Issue number 2, delays. 2, proposed major scope changes by consultant on some of the lots with associated high cost increases. The changes proposed with the impact on cost required extensive value engineering and consultation with the bank and other stakeholders before approvals are given by KCCA. As a result, some contractors have been delayed because the supervising engineers could not issue the required instructions at the time before securing the necessary approvals to proceed from KCCA. All of a sudden, we have received disturbing reports from some of these contractors that they need to make variations in the architectural designs, in the road designs. Can you imagine? All these procurement processes took long. Now, after undergoing the procurement process, they are consultant engineers. You have worked on the designs. You embark on mobilization and the construction. All of a sudden, we are going to give you a list of roads where they're saying, no, now this one we need a flyover. And this one requires more money. Let us do adjustments. Actually, the adjustments they are making now have skyrocketed to a region of around 200 billion Uganda shillings. And we are worried it may eat into the 350 billion savings we had earlier alone declared. And these are some of the issues we are still dealing with. And we are going to have an interface with Africa Development Bank. As the Office of the Road Mayor, we are writing to the Africa Development Bank to have an interface over these issues, to iron them out before we get disastrous results out of these variations. The second last reason given for the delay, delays by other government agencies to give the required approvals before the commencement of works. For example, the delay by CGV to approve the RAP or for Salama and Masiro roads has delayed the commencement of works on these two roads. Delays by the CGV, Chief Government Valuer, to approve the RAP costs for Salama and Masiro roads, which has caused the delay of the civil works along those roads. This is the explanation now being given. That for Masiro Road, people are supposed to be compensated. Salama Road, their people were supposed to be compensated. Now the technical team are telling us civil works cannot commence unless we have given the valuations given by the Chief Government Valuer. Now the Chief Government Valuer is sleeping on job. You may find he's on a holiday somewhere in the Bahamas or wherever when people here are suffering. So we can't allow this to happen. Up to now, no explanation is given why the chief government no plausible reason has been given why the Chief Government Valuer has not given the valuation for compensation of the affected persons, the project affected persons. The money now at least is there, 15 billion is there. I've told you we have started compensating those ones along Old Mubende Road in Busega. But now Masiro Road and the Salama Road, they are telling you, wait. who this government chief government valuer is, wherever he is, whatever his name is. We are putting him on notice, please. You'll be responsible for whatever will happen if people rise up against whatever is happening. Finally, the other reason given, the requirement for prior review by the bank has delayed the procurement of contractors for Mpererwe, Chiti Road, Odichira Road, and Ntinda Chisasi roads. You know, Mpererwe Chiti Road is a very long stretch, I think over 8 kilometers. And it's in a terrible state. And it's the road we use to take our garbage to Chitezi. Now they are telling you delays by the approvals by the bank. Of course, yes, we have to get an objection from the bank. The contracts have to be approved by the bank. Now, since these are our funders, I will not be so critical against them. But let me go through you members of the press to make a humble request to the Africa Development Bank. Kindly fast track the processes of approval. Let the contracts be approved very fast so that we put to task whoever is responsible for construction of the roads for civil works to commence. Now we are tasking them to commence civil works along that Imperere Road, along Masiro Road, Kasubi and whatnot, and then they are saying the bank is yet to approve the contracts. Please, Africa Development Bank team, we ask you kindly, expedite the processes. Now, finally, the notorious SFC. We have a very, very big one. You are aware the SFC were given contracts through a presidential directive way back in May to take over maintenance of our roads, that is fixing of the roads, or rather the potholes, and also repair some sections of the roads. They were supposed to handle two things: fixing of potholes and doing some sectional repairs. You know those sectional repairs, roads may be having wide patches which need repair, and you can't categorize them as potholes. They were supposed to be handled by SFC. They promised heaven on earth. They promised miracles. General Muhoozi had a tour of the city with the entire team, the executive director, the ministers, and they told you, just wait, in just a matter of months, you'll have a pothole-free Kampala. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you pass, you can be witnesses, you can bear testimony to this. Is Kampala a pothole-free city? The contract for SFC has expired, meaning the time they were given has lapsed. I want to hear it from the command of the SFC. Should we celebrate that now we have a pothole-free city? Should we celebrate? They will mention a few roads. They are just mentioning this Lieutenant Kikomeko. Every time you put cameras before him, he will tell you, go to Rashid Kamisi Road, go to Chiyembe Lane, go to the presidential route. But the arrangement, the contract was to fix potholes in Kampala. So what have we done? Now, we have been constrained to summon Lieutenant Engineer Kikomeko Kigonco. And these are the summons issued to him. I'll read it verbatim because it's a public matter. Maintenance of Kampala City roads by the Special Forces Command Construction Regiment, SFC. As you're absolutely aware, Special Forces Command was assigned the duty of road maintenance in Kampala following a presidential directive enshrined in the May 22nd, 2023 communication that was addressed to the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Nabanja. However, the Office of the Lord Mayor, together with the City Executive Committee that is mandated to initiate all city development programs, monitor sector performance and report to Council under Section 11 and 14B of the KCCA Act as amended, was not furnished with the details of how KCCA was to work with SFC on the road repairs, the scope of work, contract sums, and above all, the terms and conditions of the contract. Subsection 3 of Section 4 of the Roads Act 2019, a copy of which I have here, confers onto KCCA, that is Kampala Capital City Authority, the status of a roads authority, and the functions of the roads authority are clearly stipulated under Section 5 of the Roads Act, which inter alia include A road authority is responsible for the development, maintenance, control, and management of public roads and road reserves and facilities under its jurisdiction in accordance with this Act and any other applicable law. Subsection 2. Without limiting the generality of subsection 1, a roads authority shall develop public roads in accordance with its respective investment and physical development plans, prepare and implement road maintenance programs. It's on record that by the time of the aforesaid presidential directive, was issued, the Roads Authority and Roads Committee had already crafted a work plan for road maintenance in accordance with the law, mapped out all the potholes in the 5 divisions of Kampala City, and started on the process of cutting, trimming, and shaping, as well as filling all the potholes, awaiting for the supply of asphalt as indicated in the table below. You recall at that time, our engineers were moving around cutting the potholes, shaping them, filling them with some, what they call the first class maram. And we are just waiting for the supply of asphalt because we didn't have money from the road fund. And then General Museveni made a directive around that time, give KCCA 6 billion to fix potholes. And money was delivered. When money came, the SFC entered in. Then when the SFC came, they took over. By that time, this is the mapping we had done. The potholes we had identified. I will not give you the details of roads, just the numbers. Kawempe Division had 3,585 square meters of potholes. Machindia Division, 60,063 square meters. Nakawa, 8,348 square meters. Kampala Central, I've mixed them up. Let me repeat, I'm sorry. Kawempe Division, 3,585 square meters. Machindia Division, 60,063 square meters. Nakawa, 7,347. Kampala Central, 8,348. And Rubaga, 4,420. Total, 29,765.92 square meters of potholes that had been identified, mapped, shaped, only awaiting for the supply of asphalt to be fixed. And these were taken over by the SFC. Now, we are asking Lieutenant Kikomeko Kigonco, Omulongo. How much of these potholes have you fixed? The City Executive Committee anticipated that by the end of this financial year, all the aforesaid mapped potholes would have been fixed and would be on course to deliver a pothole-free city. By that time, I was waiting that by the time we delivered this year's State of the State address, I would be giving Kampalans good news and would be in a celebratory mood that now Kampala is a pothole-free city. That was our expectation. To execute the aforesaid assignment of sectional repairs and fixing of potholes, SFC has been facilitated with the KCCA Road Fund together with a substantial amount from NAM. The NAM fund was part of it was also given to SFC. Inevitably, the said arrangement affected the planned activities of the Roads Authority and the Roads Committee, hence resulting into the expansion of the already mapped out potholes in the city. Regrettably, the situation is deteriorating further with more potholes emerging and the number of roads becoming non-motorable. The State Executive Committee has also learned through the media that the one-year contract of SFC expired, but KCCA management is in the process of renewing the same, and indeed, they have committed 3.8 billion to that effect. 3 billion Uganda shilling, 3.8 billion. It's on the foregoing premise that the Office of the Lord Mayor has scheduled a special City Executive Committee meeting on Wednesday 29th. Today is the 20th. So that is almost just a week away. 29th, 9 days. So it's on the foregoing premise that the Office of the Lord Mayor has scheduled a special State Executive meeting on Wednesday 29th May at 10 a.m. at State Hall, purposely to receive a comprehensive report and full accountability of the operations of SFC in the city. You are hereby asked to appear before the State Executive Committee. You remove it. You are hereby asked to appear before the City Executive Committee meeting and required to A, number 1, present the contracted documents with clearly defined terms and conditions. 2, the defined scope of work. 3, the performance report for the period covered so far. 4, provide accountability for the money so far received for road maintenance and sectional repairs. And lastly, any relevant information in connection thereto. Looking forward to your cooperation. Signed, Erias Lukwago, Lord Mayor. So these are the summons. As by way of conclusion, we expect Lieutenant Engineer Kikomeko to comply with these summons. We should understand it's our mandate to oversee all the civil works in Kampala. We have an oversight role. We are elected leaders clothed with those powers. This is not a mere invitation letter, but summons without fail. Because you cannot spend taxpayers' money and you do not account for it. We cannot be on the receiving end always of the public outcry, of the public attack when you are walking away scot-free. No. So we are expecting that. Finally, I must commend you members of the media for shining a torch on the poor state of our infrastructure and raising the voice of Kampalans and Ugandans about the rotten structure. And Ugandans at large, not only Kampalas, but Ugandans across board, in the social media, the exhibitions that were made everywhere, even planting suckers, banana suckers in roads. It's the reason now, at least Parliament has made some little enhancement of our budget for construction of roads. I am sure it's the reason our budget has, for the first time in the history of KCCA, has hit a 1 trillion shilling mark. It had never happened. It is unprecedented. So don't give up. Continue the agitation. In the Kampala parlance, temujjako kigere mwongeremu, kubanga atisi kana akatono ketufunyeeyo twagala okulaba nga twongerako. The other thing is, we want to put our colleagues on notice in the KCCA. This money should be put to optimal use, should be put to good use, to revamp the infrastructure, to improve on the drainage system in Kampala, at least to make Kampala somehow a function and a reasonable city. We need to do this with this additional money largely from the donor funds, the World Bank and ADB. I thank you.